Hi. If you saw my recent video when I was dowsing and I was commenting on some of the strange things that were happening whilst I was dowsing, finding energy lines by parking on them and feathers and butterflies, you will also have heard me talk about the peripheral people, the old lady and the old man that seemingly were just out of place, I noticed them. The old lady was sitting in a very strange place on a fold-out seat, actually, by somebody's garden hedge, and she kept on reaching underneath as if looking for something. She could have been a homeless person. She had lots of plastic bags, but she didn't look like a homeless person. She was probably in her 80s. And I was dowsing. I was just out there dowsing up and down that particular piece of road looking for an energy line that I'd extrapolated into that area. And I noticed her a couple of times and then she's gone, disappeared more or less into thin air. A little later on, I was dowsing another energy line in this area where it looked to me like it was a sort of an old factory that was unused, and a whole bunch of parking garages, you know, the kind of place that people keep stuff in, old cars, that kind of stuff lying around as well. And there was a guy that looked just like Santa Claus, actually, sat against the garage, and same sort of thing. He just looked completely out of place, and he just sort of vanished into thin air without a trace. I didn't talk to either of these people, but it piqued my interest. And I put out a newsletter asking people who visit my website, myhauntedlife2.com, and have shown an interest in some of my paranormal writings, if they had any stories. And I got one story in from a person who remembered as a child going to school, talking to an adult, strange older adult, periodically in the morning, and this adult would simply vanish. And once they realized that, they never saw this person again. And I also was talking to a couple of my magical friends out over in the UK, and Stuart France reminded me that in fact he and Sue had come across characters like this when they were in churches looking at symbolism and in a similar mystical state of consciousness. So I thought I'd just make a quick video and ask if any of you have had similar sort of scenarios, experiences, and if you had, would you drop me a line or make some notes below, because it's kind of got me intrigued. The idea that when you put yourself in a slightly different state of consciousness by working with the land, or working with symbolism, or working magically or esoterically in some way, and then you begin to notice people that don't seem to quite belong. It sort of echoes some of those stories that you see particularly in the US, about angels, angels appearing and disappearing, doing something and disappearing. It also echoes to me a little bit of the black-eyed kids and shadow people, kind of entities that exist on the border of our reality, the peripheral, liminal part of reality, that perhaps when you put your consciousness in the right frame, you start to register. I'm kind of intrigued by this. Maybe I'm going somewhere I shouldn't, but I want to do more research into the topic. And it struck me that if I made a video like this, perhaps if you had such an experience, you might be kind enough just to write me a note, email garymvasey@gmail.com, or just leave a comment in the notes below. And thank you for your attention. Do appreciate it, and look forward to seeing you on YouTube again. Thanks. Bye bye. I'm going dowsing now, actually.